The moment before death. Thomas Hale knew two things with absolute certainty. First, the cold on Orange Peak was trying to kill him. Second, something was watching him. The wind howled across the volcanic ridge like a living creature, dragging freezing dust across the black rocks. His suit heater had died 20 minutes ago. His oxygen indicator blinked red. 3% remaining. The survey mission had started 14 days earlier with excitement and optimism. For humans had landed on the mysterious planet Aura 9 to study strange energy readings coming from its northern mountains. Now the probes were gone. His crew had escaped in emergency pods. And Thomas was alone. He lay on the slope of the mountain staring at a sky that held two pale moons. His body felt heavy. Every breath burned his chest. "Not like this," he whispered. Thomas Hale had not crossed half the galaxy to die on a rock nobody had ever heard of. So he crawled. His cracked visor display still showed a faint signal from earlier scans. 300 meters away stood a structure that should not exist. A temple. Ancient. Massive. Impossible. Every instinct told him it might be alien. But it was also his only chance. So Thomas dragged himself forward across the stone. 200 meters. His hands were numb. His suit scraped against sharp volcanic glass. Blood from the wound beneath his ribs froze almost instantly against his uniform. 100 meters. The strange thing was the warmth. At first he thought it was his imagination. But the closer he crawled toward the temple steps, the warmer the rock became. That made no scientific sense. But right now, science was secondary to survival. 50 meters. Thomas reached the first step and collapsed. The stone beneath him pulsed with gentle heat, like the steady heartbeat of something alive. For a moment he simply lay there breathing. Then a shadow fell across him. The alien goddess. Thomas forced his eyes open. Someone was standing above him. She was tall, taller than any human. Her form was graceful but powerful, wrapped in flowing robes that shimmered like liquid gold in the moonlight. Her skin reflected the pale light of the sky as if it carried its own glow. Long silver hair drifted around her shoulders even though there was no wind. And her ears, they rose to elegant points. Alien. But what struck Thomas most was her expression. It was not fear. It was curiosity. The same expression a scientist might wear after discovering something unexpected. Thomas tried to sit up. His body refused. So instead he said the only thing his tired brain could think of. "I'm not dead." The woman studied him for a long moment. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, scanning him the way advanced medical drones once scanned injured soldiers during the Orion Wars. Finally she spoke. "Not yet." Her voice was calm and melodic. It carried strange harmonics that seemed to vibrate inside his chest. Then she knelt beside him. Thomas expected delicate hands. Instead she lifted him effortlessly. Like he weighed nothing. His brain tried to process the physics of that. It failed. "You humans," she said softly. "Your bodies are remarkably fragile." Thomas managed a weak smile. "I've been meaning to file a complaint." For a moment he thought she might actually laugh. Instead she carried him inside the temple. The living temple. The interior should have been dark. Instead it glowed with soft golden light. Thomas blinked in confusion. There were no lamps. No visible technology. The light simply existed in the air itself. Carvings covered the towering walls, symbols and shapes his brain struggled to understand. They seemed older than any human civilization. He realized something else. The temple was humming. Not loudly. Just a gentle vibration that resonated through the floor and into his bones. The alien woman placed him on a smooth stone platform. Then she pressed her hand against the wound in his side. Thomas expected pain. Instead warmth flooded through him. It spread through his chest like sunlight melting ice. "What are you doing?" he asked weakly. She tilted her head. "Repairing." Her fingers glowed faintly. The humming in the temple grew stronger. Thomas stared in disbelief as the torn fabric of his suit slowly knit itself back together. Beneath it, his flesh healed. No medical tool. No scanner. Just her touch. He had studied alien civilizations for years. Humanity had encountered dozens across the galaxy. None possessed technology like this. Or, if it was technology, it was so advanced it looked like magic. The truth about humans. Minutes later, Thomas could breathe without pain. The alien stepped back and studied him again. "You are the first human I have seen," she said. Thomas pushed himself upright. "Lucky me." Her glowing eyes narrowed slightly. "You were not meant to survive this mountain." "Yeah," Thomas said. "I noticed." She turned toward the massive doorway of the temple where the twin moons shone over the dark planet. "There are many civilizations that visit Auran 9, she said quietly. "But none of them climb Orange Peak." "Why not?" "Because they know what lives here." Thomas followed her gaze. "What lives here?" She looked back at him. Her expression had changed. There was something deeper there now. Concern. "You do." Thomas blinked. What?" Before she could answer, the temple suddenly shook. A deep tremor rolled through the mountain. Dust fell from the high ceiling. The alien woman's eyes flashed with sudden intensity. "They have found you." Thomas felt a cold chill run down his spine. "Who has?" Outside the temple, the sky lit up. Warships. Huge triangular vessels descended through the clouds like dark blades. Alien warships. The woman's voice became quiet and serious. "The Dominion." Thomas recognized the name instantly. Every human colony did. The Dominion was the largest empire in the outer galaxy. Cold. Ruthless. Conquering everything in their path. And right now, their fleet was descending on this mountain. The alien woman turned to him. "For thousands of years," she said slowly, "the Dominion has searched for the power hidden in this temple." Thomas swallowed. "And?" She stepped closer. "And now they believe you have it." Thomas stared at her. "I literally just got here." Her glowing eyes met his. "Yes." Then she said the words that would change the future of two civilizations. "You will live, human." Outside, the first Dominion warship opened fire on the mountain. And Thomas Hale realized something terrifying. The alien goddess wasn't saving him. She was preparing him. For war. The arrival of the Dominion. The first explosion shook the mountain like a thunderclap. Orange light flashed through the temple entrance as Dominion plasma cannons struck the outer slopes of Orange Peak. Stone shattered. Dust fell from the ancient ceiling. Thomas felt the vibration through the platform beneath him. For a moment he simply stared at the doorway where the sky burned red. "Those ships look unfriendly," he said. The alien woman beside him did not smile this time. "They are hunters," she said calmly. "And they believe this temple holds a weapon powerful enough to control entire star systems." Thomas slowly stood up. His body felt strange, stronger than before. The warmth she had placed inside him still moved through his veins like quiet electricity. "Does it?" he asked. She looked at him. "Yes." Another explosion thundered outside. The temple trembled again. Dominion landing craft were already descending toward the mountain. Thomas rubbed his forehead. "Great," he muttered. "I wake up from near death and immediately become the center of a galactic war." The alien woman studied him with careful interest. "You are not afraid?" "Oh, I'm absolutely terrified," Thomas replied. "But humans have a habit of dealing with terrifying things." The secret of the temple. The alien walked deeper into the chamber. Thomas followed her. The temple opened into a vast circular hall. At its center floated a sphere of golden light, rotating slowly above a stone pedestal. Thomas stopped. "Okay, that definitely looks important." The air around the sphere hummed with immense power. "What is it?" he asked. The alien's voice softened. "This temple is older than most civilizations in the galaxy. It was built by a species that understood something others never did." "What's that?" She looked directly at him. "Creativity." Thomas blinked. That's not the answer I expected. Most advanced civilizations rely only on logic, she continued. Efficiency, perfect calculations, perfect predictions. And humans. You are unpredictable. Outside the temple, Dominion troop carriers landed with heavy metallic crashes. Thomas heard the echo of armored footsteps climbing the temple stairs. Time was running out. So, he said, you're telling me this ancient superweapon runs on imagination? The alien nodded. Correct. Thomas stared at the glowing sphere again. Then slowly, a grin appeared on his face. Oh, he said quietly. That's a mistake. Dominion soldiers enter. The temple doors exploded inward. Dominion soldiers stormed inside. They were massive creatures, nearly 3 meters tall, covered in dark armored exoskeletons. Their glowing red eyes scanned the chamber like hunting animals. Behind them walked a commander in black ceremonial armor. He studied the alien woman first. Then he noticed Thomas. A human, the commander growled. His deep voice echoed through the temple. Unexpected. Thomas raised a hand slightly. Hi. The commander ignored him and looked at the glowing sphere. At last, he said. For centuries the Dominion searched for this power. He stepped forward confidently. Now it belongs to us. The alien woman remained calm. It does not respond to conquerors. The commander laughed. Everything responds to power. He gestured to his soldiers. Secure the artifact. Dominion troops approached the sphere. The moment one of them touched it, nothing happened. The light remained calm and silent. The commander frowned. Activate it. Another soldier tried. Still nothing. Thomas scratched his chin. He said. That's weird. The commander turned slowly toward him. You find this amusing, human? Thomas shrugged. A little. The human idea. The commander stepped closer. You will activate the device, he said. Thomas raised an eyebrow. Why me? The alien woman answered softly. Because it has already chosen you. The entire room fell silent. Dominion soldiers aimed their weapons at Thomas. The commander leaned down close to him. If this is a trick. Thomas walked calmly past him. Everyone froze. Even the alien woman looked curious now. Thomas approached the glowing sphere. The power around it felt alive. Waiting. Listening. He remembered what the alien had said. Most civilizations rely on logic. Humans rely on imagination. So Thomas did the most human thing possible. He talked to it. Okay, he said to the sphere. I'm going to be honest. Today has been terrible. The Dominion soldiers stared in confusion. Thomas continued. I got shot. My ship crashed. I almost froze to death. And now an alien empire is trying to steal ancient technology. He sighed. So if you're some kind of cosmic super AI or ancient energy field. He gently touched the light. I could really use some help. For a moment nothing happened. Then the sphere flared. Bright golden light flooded the entire temple. Dominion soldiers shouted in alarm. The commander stepped backward. What is happening? Thomas blinked. Oh. That worked. Humanity's unexpected weapon. The sphere pulsed again. Suddenly images appeared in the air around them. Thousands of possibilities, strategies, and designs forming instantly. Machines. Ships. Energy shields. Weapons the galaxy had never imagined. The temple was responding to human creativity. Every strange, unpredictable idea Thomas thought of instantly became real. The alien woman whispered in awe. Incredible. Thomas looked around at the floating designs. Then he grinned. You know what humans are really good at? The Dominion commander drew his weapon. Destroying our enemies. Thomas shook his head. No. He snapped his fingers. Improvising. Outside the temple, something massive began to rise from the mountain. The Dominion fleet suddenly stopped firing. Sensors across their ships detected an impossible energy surge. Stone cracked open along the side of Orange Peak. From within the mountain, enormous structures emerged. Ancient defensive machines awakened after thousands of years. Thousands of floating drones formed instantly in the sky. The Dominion fleet hesitated. For the first time in centuries, the conquerors of galaxies were confused. Inside the temple, Thomas looked back at the alien woman. "So," he said, "got any other ancient alien devices lying around?" She stared at him with amazement. "No civilization has ever activated the temple this quickly." Thomas smiled. "Yeah. Humans are weird like that." Outside, the first Dominion warship exploded, and the battle for Orange Peak truly began. The battle above Orange Peak. The sky above Orange Peak had turned into a storm of fire. Dominion warships hovered like dark blades against the clouds, their massive cannons glowing with violent energy. For centuries they had conquered star systems without resistance. Entire civilizations had surrendered the moment their fleet arrived. But today was different. Today they had met a human with an imagination. Thomas stood inside the temple, watching the battlefield through floating projections created by the ancient sphere. Dozens of Dominion ships circled the mountain, and dozens were already burning. The alien woman beside him stared at the projections in silent amazement. "You are not even trained for war," she said slowly. Thomas shrugged. "Technically, I'm a survey officer." Outside the temple, thousands of golden drones burst from the mountain like a swarm of living stars. Each one moved with impossible speed, weaving through the Dominion fleet with unpredictable patterns. No Dominion strategist could understand what was happening, because nothing about the attack followed logic. Some drones moved randomly. Some vanished and reappeared behind enemy ships. Others simply flew straight into Dominion weapons fire and exploded, only to reform seconds later. Dominion targeting computers failed. Their predictive algorithms collapsed. Their commanders shouted orders in confusion. The Dominion had fought many species, but never humans. The problem with perfection. Inside the lead Dominion flagship, Commander Valex watched the battle unfold with growing anger. "Why can our weapons not track them?" he demanded. His tactical officer trembled. "Their movement patterns make no sense." Valex slammed his armored fist onto the command console. "Everything has a pattern." But the drones outside did not behave like machines. They behaved like ideas. One moment they formed defensive shields around the temple. The next moment they split into chaotic spirals that confused every Dominion targeting system. Several warships collided with each other while trying to avoid attacks that appeared from impossible angles. On the temple floor, Thomas rubbed his hands together. "Okay," he said. "That part worked better than expected." The alien woman looked at him carefully. "You did not design those machines." "Nope." "Then how?" Thomas pointed at the glowing sphere. "It reads thoughts, possibilities, creativity." She nodded. "Yes." "Well," Thomas continued, "humans spend most of their lives thinking about crazy ideas." He leaned closer to the floating projection. "So I just imagined the most annoying defense system possible." Another Dominion cruiser exploded in orbit. The alien woman blinked slowly. "Your species weaponized imagination." Thomas smiled. "Pretty much." Dominion panic. The Dominion fleet had faced rebellions before. They had crushed advanced civilizations with powerful fleets and flawless strategies. But their greatest strength was also their greatest weakness. Dominion society believed in perfection. Perfect calculations. Perfect efficiency. Perfect logic. But imagination? Chaos? Improvisation? Those things terrified them. Now their perfect war machines faced an enemy they could not predict. Dominion ships began retreating from the mountain. But the temple drones followed them. Every time the Dominion tried to regroup, the drones changed tactics in ways their computers could not process. Commander Valex finally gave the order no Dominion commander had spoken in centuries. Retreat. The fleet began pulling away from Orange Peak. Inside the temple, Thomas watched the ships turn. Well, he said. That escalated quickly. The goddess reveals the truth. The alien woman stepped closer to the glowing sphere. Her voice became quieter. You still do not understand why the temple chose you. Thomas crossed his arms. I assume it's my charming personality. She almost smiled. No. She waved her hand across the air. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared. Thousands of alien civilizations filled the stars. All advanced species follow the same path, she explained. They seek efficiency, order, perfection. She pointed to the Dominion territory. They remove chaos from their thinking. Then she turned toward Earth on the map. But humans never did. Thomas looked at the glowing blue dot representing his home world. Yeah, we're messy like that. Messy, she repeated. But brilliant. She gestured toward the temple sphere. The builders of this temple discovered something long ago. What? That the most powerful force in the universe is not strength. Not technology. Not logic. She looked directly at him. It is imagination. Thomas slowly understood. And the Dominion can't use it. No, she said. They fear it. The human future. Outside, the last Dominion ship jumped into hyperspace. The sky above Orange Peak became quiet again. Thomas leaned back against a stone pillar. Well, he said. That was stressful. The alien woman studied him with a thoughtful expression. You have changed the balance of the galaxy today. Thomas blinked. Wait, what? The Dominion will never return here, she said. They now know the temple belongs to humanity. Thomas rubbed his face. I did not sign up for that responsibility. You already accepted it when the temple chose you. The glowing sphere slowly floated closer to him. It pulsed gently, almost like it was curious. Thomas sighed. Okay, but we need to set some ground rules. The alien woman tilted her head. Rules? Yes. He pointed toward the stars outside the temple. If humans get access to ancient cosmic imagination technology. He paused. Things are going to get weird. She nodded slowly. I believe that. Thomas looked at the sky where the Dominion fleet had vanished. Then he grinned. Actually, he said, weird might be exactly what this galaxy needs. The temple sphere pulsed again. Across the galaxy, hidden signals awakened. Ancient machines began listening for a new civilization. A civilization that could imagine the impossible. And somewhere in the distance, other alien empires began receiving reports. Reports that made no sense. Reports that said a single human had defeated the Dominion fleet. At first, they dismissed it as an error. But soon they would learn the truth. Humanity had just entered the wider galaxy, and the universe was about to discover something very important. Humans did not win because they were stronger. They did not win because they were more advanced. They won because humans could imagine things no other species ever dared to think. And in a galaxy obsessed with perfection, that made humans unstoppable.